Hello and welcome to the Naked Expat channel. 40% of expats return home within the first year. Not because they ran out of money, not because they got homesick, but because they fundamentally misunderstood what living abroad actually requires. I'm going to give you 5 universal principles that work whether you're moving to the Philippines, Portugal or Paraguay. These aren't travel tips. These are survival strategies, and I'm using the Philippines as my case study because if you can make it work here, you can pretty much make it work anywhere. Before we dive into solutions, let's talk about why people fail. Because if you don't understand the actual problems, the solutions won't make any sense. The 4 killers of expat dreams are cultural shock that nobody warned you about, language barriers that often go beyond vocabulary, financial reality checks that destroy budgets, and isolation that turns paradise into prison. Let's break these down using real examples from the Philippines. Then I'll show you how to handle them from anywhere. Cultural shock isn't about finding the food weird or the traffic chaotic. It's about fundamental differences in how societies operate that nobody tells you about until you're already committed. In the Philippines, there's Filipino time, the concept that being 30 minutes to an hour late is perfectly acceptable. There's mañana culture, the idea that things will get done eventually. Just not necessarily today. There's a completely different understanding of personal space, social hierarchy, and indirect communication. Here's what this actually means. Your contractor won't show up when promised. Your landlord will enter your property without notice because they don't see it as an invasion of privacy. Business deals will fall through because you were too direct and caused someone to lose face. And everyone will smile and say yes, even when they mean no, because direct confrontation is considered rude. This isn't unique to the Philippines. Every country has these unwritten rules. In Germany, you'll be ostracized for being even 5 minutes late. In Thailand, touching someone's head is deeply offensive. And in Saudi Arabia, showing the bottom of your shoe is an insult. The problem isn't that these rules exist, it's that nobody tells you about them until you've already broken them. Even in countries where English is widely spoken, you're going to hit walls. In the Philippines, sure, most people speak English, but try navigating a government office in a rural area where the clerk only speaks Tagalog and the local dialect. Try understanding why your utility bill is wrong when the explanation involves technical terms in a language that you don't speak. And it's not just about vocabulary, it's about context, idioms, and cultural references. When a Filipino says, "I'll try," about something you've asked them to do, they're actually saying no, politely. When they say maybe, they mean probably not. When they avoid eye contact, they're showing respect, not being shifty. This happens everywhere. In Japan, "I'll consider it" means absolutely not. In Russia, smiling at strangers makes you look suspicious. And in Ukraine, if you whistle in public, you're considered to have an empty head. Language isn't just words, it's an entire system of communication that takes years to truly understand. This is where dreams die. You've calculated your budget based on online cost of living calculators. You think you can live comfortably on $1,500 a month in the Philippines. Then reality hits. Your air conditioning costs more than expected because you're not used to the heat. You get dengue fever and the hospital bill is $3,000 because you don't have proper insurance yet. Your landlord demands 6 months rent up front plus deposits. The small fees for visa extensions add up to hundreds of dollars. You need to fly home for a family emergency, and that's another $1,200 you didn't budget for. Oh, and taxes. You thought you'd escape your home country tax system, but now you're dealing with tax obligations in two countries. The Philippines has different rules for foreign income. Your home country might still want their cut. You need an accountant who understands international tax law, and that's not cheap. This isn't about the Philippines being expensive. It's about hidden costs existing everywhere. Every country has bureaucratic fees, unexpected emergencies, and financial surprises that aren't in the tourism brochure. Here's what nobody tells you about. You can be surrounded by people and still be completely alone. You'll meet other expats, sure, but many of them are running from something, or they're sex tourists, or they're bitter cynics who complain about everything. The genuine, quality friendships you had back home, those are very rare to find abroad. And integrating with locals is harder than you might think. In the Philippines, you'll always be the foreigner. You can learn the language, understand the culture, maybe even marry a local, and you'll still be an outsider. Not in a hostile way, but in a fundamental, you're not from here way. Your family back home doesn't understand your life anymore. Your old friends drift away because you're not there for the daily interactions that maintain friendships. And the new people you meet abroad are often transient. They leave after a few months or years. This is universal, whether you're in Mexico, Thailand, the Philippines or Portugal. You're going to face this same isolation. The expats who succeed are the ones who accept this reality and build their social life intentionally, not accidentally. Alright, enough of the problems, you get it. Expat life is harder than the Instagram post suggests. Now let's talk about how you actually succeed. I'm going to give you Philippines specific tactics first, then universal principles that work anywhere. First, adapt to local customs, don't fight them. Learn about pakikisama, the Filipino concept of getting along and maintaining harmony. This means being patient when things don't happen on your schedule. It means using indirect communication when you need something. It means understanding that relationships matter more than efficiency. When your contractor is late, don't explode at them. That will make everything worse. Instead, build in buffer time, expect delays, plan around Filipino time rather than fighting it. Secondly, learn basic Tagalog, even if everyone speaks English. I'm not talking about fluency, I'm talking about greetings, basic phrases and showing effort. When you say salamat instead of thank you, when you attempt magkano ito instead of how much, you're showing respect. Filipinos will bend over backwards to help someone who's making an effort to understand their culture. Thirdly, build social connections with locals, not just expat buddies. Join local community activities, attend fiestas, volunteer, get involved with barangay events. Sure, you'll always be the foreigner, but you can be our foreigner or their foreigner. The one who shows up, participates, and genuinely cares about the community. That makes all the difference. Now let's talk about the principles that work everywhere. Principle 1, master the bureaucracy before it masters you. Every country has paperwork nightmares, visa extensions, residency permits, tax regulations, driver's licenses. It's endless. And the systems are deliberately confusing because they were designed by bureaucrats for bureaucrats, not for you. Here's your strategy. Research everything months before you need it. Join expat forums specific to your destination country. Find people who've recently gone through the process and ask them exactly what documents they needed, which office they went to and how long it took. In the Philippines, you'll need an ACR card. You'll need to do visa extensions every month or two, depending on your visa type. You'll need barangay clearances, police clearances, NBI clearances. The list goes on. Each one requires specific documents, specific fees and specific offices. Get this wrong and you'll waste lots and lots of time. But this applies everywhere. In Portugal, the bureaucracy is notoriously slow. In Thailand, visa rules change constantly. In Mexico, every state has different requirements. The expats who succeed are the ones who treat bureaucracy like a game to be mastered, not an obstacle to be ignored. Budget extra time for everything. Assume things will take twice as long as you expect. Bring extra passport photos everywhere. You'll need them constantly. Keep multiple copies of every important document. And most importantly, never assume logic applies to government processes, because it rarely does. The second principle, establish your financial infrastructure immediately. This means opening local bank accounts as soon as practicable, setting up international money transfer services, and understanding your tax obligations in both your home country and your new country. In the Philippines, you'll need a local bank account for paying rent and utilities and daily expenses. They're very handy. But Philippine banks are notorious for bureaucracy. You need multiple IDs, proof of address, sometimes a work permit, even if you're retired. Start this process early. Set up services like Wise or Revolut for international transfers before you leave your home country. It's much easier. Don't rely on traditional banks. Their exchange rates and fees will destroy your budget. A 3 to 4% difference in exchange rates adds up to thousands of dollars per year if you're transferring pension or investment income. And taxes, this is critical. Many countries tax worldwide income. The Philippines doesn't, but many countries do. Some have tax treaties with your home country and some don't. You need to understand your obligations before you're surprised by a massive tax bill. Hire an accountant who specialises in expat taxation. Yes, it costs more money up front, but it saves you from catastrophic mistakes later. Keep detailed records of everything, every transfer, every expense, every source of income. Tax authorities in multiple countries might want that documentation, and I don't remember isn't an acceptable answer. Now, the third principle, and this is crucial, build a proper medical safety net. This is where most expats make catastrophic mistakes that haunt them for years. Here's what you need to understand about international health insurance and why the type of policy matters more than you realise. In the UK, international health insurance operates under Financial Conduct Authority regulation. That means policies must be written in plain English with clear, unambiguous terms. It means premiums are community rated based on the entire pool of insured people, not your individual claims history. Make a claim this year, your premium next year doesn't skyrocket. That's the deal. Most critically, if your insurer refuses a claim you believe should be covered, you have recourse through the Financial Ombudsman Service, an independent body with real power to force insurers to pay valid claims. I've seen this work. Insurers know the Ombudsman will side with policyholders when policy terms are ambiguous, so they're incentivized to write clear policies and honour claims. That's consumer protection that actually works. And here's something crucial that many expats don't realise. You do not need to be a UK citizen to access UK regulated international health insurance. Let me repeat that because it's important. Whether you're American, Canadian, Australian, Filipino, or any other nationality, and regardless of where you live in the world, you can obtain UK regulated international health insurance cover. This isn't exclusive to British passport holders. It's available to expats of any nationality anywhere in the world. The protection, the community rated premiums, the Financial Ombudsman Service recourse, all of it is accessible to you regardless of your citizenship. There is no reason to settle for inferior coverage just because you're not British. Now contrast that with USA-based international health insurance providers. Do you ever wonder why so many are based in weak states in America or offshore jurisdictions like the Cayman Islands or Bermuda? It's not for the weather. These providers operate where policy terms can be deliberately ambiguous, where consumer protections are minimal or non-existent, and where your rights as a policyholder are essentially what the insurer decides they are. Here's the part that should terrify you. Many USA or locally based policy providers explicitly state in their policy terms that no litigation is a condition of accepting the policy. Yeah, you read that right. You agree up front that if they refuse your claim, even wrongfully, you have no legal recourse, no court, no arbitration, no ombudsman, nothing. Even when litigation is technically allowed, the jurisdiction clauses force you to litigate in their chosen venue, often thousands of miles away under unfamiliar legal systems at costs that exceed what most expats can afford. It's designed to make challenging them impossible. I've spoken with expats who've paid premiums faithfully for years, only to have major claims denied or technicalities buried in the ambiguous policy wording. When they have tried to fight it, they discovered that they had signed away their right to legal recourse. Decades of premiums paid, and when they needed it most, they got nothing. So here's your action plan. I've researched UK international health insurance providers for you. I've put a link in the description of this video for a brief form that you can complete. I've read all the policy documents and I understand them. You need to also understand what's covered and what isn't. Yes, UK regulated policies might cost slightly more up front, but that's because you're paying for actual protection, not just the illusion of it. And remember, this option is available to you regardless of your nationality or current location. Avoid USA-based providers that operate from offshore jurisdictions or from weak states in the USA. If you see policy terms that waive your right to litigation, run. If the jurisdiction clauses force you to litigate in Bermuda or the Cayman Islands, run even faster. And absolutely avoid relying solely on local health insurance companies in developing countries like the Philippines. A popular one is Pacific Cross in the Philippines, and the policy terms are extremely poor. It's also claims-based, which means if you submit a claim to Pacific Cross, your premiums year on year are going to skyrocket to the point they become unaffordable. It's rubbish. Some of these local policies might be fine for supplementary coverage for routine care, but for serious medical emergencies, you need international coverage that will evacuate you to proper facilities and actually pay the bills. This isn't optional. This is the difference between a medical emergency being an inconvenience versus a life-destroying catastrophe. And remember, with UK-based, UK-regulated international healthcare, if you require a serious operation, you can choose what hospital in what country you have that operation. If you have a local policy like Pacific Cross, good luck with you, because you're going to get dealt with by the local quack in the Philippines. Take your choice. The fourth principle, build your social infrastructure intentionally, not accidentally. Isolation will destroy you faster than any financial problem. You need to create sustainable social systems before you need them, not after you're already lonely and desperate. Here's the strategy. Diversify your social circles. Don't rely solely on expat groups. They're transient and often toxic. Don't rely solely on locals. You'll always have cultural barriers. You need both, plus online communities, plus maintain relationships back home also. Join activities based on interests, not nationality. Sports clubs, gym membership, volunteer organisations, language exchange groups, hobby communities. In the Philippines, this might be scuba diving clubs, hiking groups, or community development projects. The activity gives you a reason to show up regularly, and friendships develop naturally from repeated interaction. Maintain your home relationships actively, if possible. Schedule regular video calls. Don't just wait for people to reach out. You're the one who left, so you need to do the work. Share your life by all means, but also ask about theirs. Stay relevant in their lives. And accept that some friendships will end. That's not failure, that's reality. People grow apart when they're not sharing daily experiences. Grieve it and move on. The expats who thrive are the ones who treat social connections like a job. They schedule it. They show up consistently. They invest time and energy even when they don't feel like it. Because the alternative, isolation and depression, is far worse. The fifth principle is about building mental resilience before you need it. Living abroad is a constant stream of small frustrations. Things don't work the way you expect. Communication is harder. Simple tasks take longer. You're always slightly off balance, always adapting, always the outsider. Most people underestimate the psychological toll of this. They think they're tough enough to handle it. Then 6 months in, they're depressed, angry, and booking flights home. Here's what works. Establish routines that give you stability. Maybe it's a morning coffee ritual, a weekly video call with the family, a regular exercise schedule. These anchors help keep you grounded when everything else feels chaotic. Learn to find humour in frustration. Sometimes you simply got to laugh it off. When the power goes out for the 3rd time this week, when the internet dies during an important call, when bureaucracy makes no sense, you can either rage or laugh. Laughter is more sustainable. And remember that old saying, there is no difference between an optimist and a pessimist. It's just that the optimist has a better time of it. And oh, how so true that is. Accept that you will have bad days, bad weeks, even bad months. I know it's happened to me. That doesn't mean you made the wrong decision. It means you're human and adaptation is hard. Give yourself permission to struggle without questioning your entire move. And most importantly, have an exit strategy. Know that you can leave if you need to. Paradoxically, having an escape plan makes you less likely to need it. It's the people who feel trapped who break down. The people who know they're choosing to stay every single day are the ones who thrive. This applies everywhere, whether you're in paradise or a developing country. The mental game is the same. Your ability to adapt, to stay flexible, to maintain perspective, that determines your success more than any external factor. So let's recap the 5 universal principles. Master the bureaucracy before it masters you. Research everything, prepare early, and treat it like a game to be won. Build your financial infrastructure immediately. Local bank accounts when you can, international transfer services like Wise and Revolut, and proper tax planning aren't optional. Thirdly, get proper medical coverage, and I mean UK regulated international health insurance that actually protects you regardless of your nationality. This is non-negotiable. Link in the description. Fourthly, create sustainable social systems intentionally. Diversify your circles, maintain home relationships, and show up consistently for local events. And finally, fifth, develop mental resilience. Build routines, find humour, accept struggle, and always know you're choosing this life. These principles work whether you're moving to the Philippines, Portugal, Thailand, Mexico, or anywhere else. The specific tactics change, but the fundamentals remain the same. Now here's what I need you to understand. The medical insurance piece isn't something that you can figure out later. It's not something you can cheap out on. It's not something that you can ignore until you need it, because by then it's too late. I've put together a comprehensive guide that walks you through exactly how to evaluate UK regulated international health insurance providers, what questions to ask, what red flags to watch out for, and how to ensure you're actually protected. This isn't generic advice. This is specific, detailed information that could save you from financial catastrophe. The link is in the description below. And look, I know you're thinking, I'll check it out later, or I'll deal with this when I'm closer to moving. Don't. This is the one thing that you cannot afford to get wrong. 40% of expats fail and return home within the first year. Yeah, you heard that. 40% of expats fail and return home within the first year. Don't be part of that statistic. Get the information you need, make informed decisions, and set yourself up for success from day one. If you found this valuable, please like and subscribe for more no BS expat advice. I don't do travel vlogs or lifestyle content. I do survival tactics for people serious about making this work. And if you're already living abroad and you've learned these lessons the hard way, drop a comment and share your experience. Help the next person avoid your mistakes. Right, that's it. Now do some research for yourself, make the plan, and build the life you actually want. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, enjoy.